Chapter 1: The Chaos Without a Framework. A Mind Without a Map. Imagine waking up in a strange city with no map, no phone, and no idea of the language. You start walking. Every street you take is a guess. Every choice feels urgent because you have no broader view to guide it. At first, the chaos is exhilarating. Every corner a surprise. But after a while, you realize you're circling the same blocks, missing important streets, and occasionally wandering into dangerous alleys. You have no way to tell if you're moving closer to your destination or further away. This is how most people navigate life, surrounded by an abundance of information and options, yet lacking a coherent framework to make sense of them. They respond to the loudest signal, the strongest emotion, or the most recent piece of advice, without noticing how often these directions contradict each other. Signs of a fractured framework. If your thinking is a patchwork of unconnected ideas, certain symptoms will show up. Contradictory decisions. You hold two beliefs that cancel each other out, valuing freedom but agreeing to commitments that make you feel trapped. Prizing honesty, but telling yourself small lies to keep the peace. Without a unifying framework, these contradictions slide past unnoticed until they create tension. Reaction over reflection. Without clear criteria for what matters most, you act in response to urgency rather than importance. The day becomes a series of small fires to put out, rather than a purposeful movement toward a larger goal. Identity traps. You define yourself in ways that quietly limit your choices, believing you're not the type to do certain things, or assuming others think and feel as you do. Cloudmind calls these identity traps, invisible walls in your mental landscape. Overwhelm and indecision. When every choice is made from scratch, decision fatigue sets in quickly. Without principles to narrow the field, you drown in options. Why this happens? The human mind evolved for survival in small, predictable environments, not for processing the relentless influx of information in modern life. When the flood of inputs exceeds our ability to integrate them, we default to short-term emotional signals. I feel anxious, so it must be wrong. Mimetic copying, adopting the choices and opinions of those around us without realizing it. Narrative patching, telling ourselves quick stories to make disjointed events seem connected even when they aren't. These shortcuts aren't inherently bad, they're just unreliable when left unchecked. The cost of incoherence. Without a coherent mental framework, even the smartest, most well-intentioned people become vulnerable to persuasion without substance. You're swayed by confident voices, regardless of whether their reasoning aligns with your values. Hidden contradictions. Your actions in one area quietly undermine your goals in another. Life drift. Years pass in which you work hard, but not toward anything you truly chose. Perhaps most painfully, you may feel like you're making progress, only to discover later that you've been walking in circles. From chaos to coherence. This book begins here because the first step toward coherence is to recognize the cost of not having it. Just as a lost traveler becomes motivated to find or draw a map after too many wrong turns, you will feel the need for a framework most strongly when you can clearly see the friction, waste, and missed opportunities that arise without one. In the chapters that follow, we will clarify your anchor points so your decisions have a stable base. Understand the machinery of belief and identity so you can spot and dismantle your own blind spots. Learn to connect ideas across disciplines and timescales, making your thinking robust. Practice updating your framework without losing your center. A coherent mental framework will not remove uncertainty from life, but it will remove unnecessary uncertainty, allowing you to face the remaining unknowns with clarity and calm. Key takeaway. Without a coherent framework, you are at the mercy of every passing influence. With one, you become the cartographer of your own mind, able to navigate complexity with both confidence and adaptability.